What is up, Global Trainer Syndicate? XTheFall3nX, aka Ryan here, back again to bring you guys another Showdown OU battle. This battle was absolutely awesome, and I just loved it so much. Before we get into this battle, I just want to tell you guys I did read all your comments, and thank you guys for the generous attention that came to my own channel. Thank you guys for all the suggestions and the criticism. Really did appreciate it. Most of the comments were nice, and yeah, not much else to say about that. Speaking of comments, the background music in this one is, as you can probably hear, much lower, and the reason for that is I don't have to what am I trying to say here? I don't have to turn up the background music as loud to try to cover up buzzing sounds, because this laptop actually doesn't have any buzzing sounds, because actually it's the microphone. Anyway, the microphone doesn't have any buzzing sound because it's actually an external microphone, and therefore it's not built into the laptop and it's not picking up the fan. So that was kind of a mouthful, so I'm just going to go ahead and get into team analysis right now. So on my end, we have one of my favorite teams ever to use, because I really do love this team. This team is centered around Jinx. Unfortunately, she does not get to do much in this battle, but if you want to see her do something, again, you can pop over to my channel, and yeah, there's been plenty of times where she's done work. Anyway, looking at my team, I have the standard, well, not standard, but I have a Stealth Rocking Mamoswine with Life Orb, because Mamoswine is a really good user of Stealth Rocks, forces a lot of switches, and offensive Stealth Rockers are pretty unexpected, so I thought, why not? Got the Sub-Calm Jirachi because I needed something to set up in the rain. You know, it's got Thunder and Psychic, and I also needed a Steel type, so Jirachi fit both those roles. It's kind of bulky because max HP, max speed, you know, standard Rachi, and really do like that Pokemon as well. Got the standard defensive Tentacruel, although it primarily acts as my special wall, and you know, it's got the Rapid Spin, the Scald, and instead of Sub-Toxic, I'm actually running Toxic Spike Protect, and that's pretty much that. Standard defensive Politoed, don't really need to say much about it, except that in addition to obviously the Scald, I have the Parasong, the Protect, and I think my last move is Toxic, because why not? Jinx, my pride and joy. I really wish she had gotten to do more this game. Alas, she did not. She is sub Nasty Plot with Lovely Kiss and Ice Beam. Mono attacking, you know, pretty cool. And this Tornadus used to be Choice Specs, but I actually changed it to Sharp Beak because I still get the boost on my flying type moves, and I can switch up moves and stuff, and it's pretty much just a bluff Specs, and it's actually really cool. So looking at his stuff, I can pretty much answer most of it well, but he does have that Breloom, and he might be the Focus Sash lead set, which is like, oh god, no, because lead Sash Breloom is a threat. And although I do have ways to kill it, losing a member of my team early on in the game would be pretty bad for me, and I don't want that. Keldeo, depending on the set, I might be able to just like shut it down between Jinx and Tentacruel, because water immunity and fighting resist, respectively. Landorus is always a threat, so like if he's Rock Polish, I gotta make sure I keep Mamoswine around just to deal with that thing. And yeah, Latios could totally be a problem, but so I do have Jirachi, but I have to make sure it doesn't trick me that it's Choice Specs or Scarf if it is choiced, because that's what most Latios tend to be these days. So now that this long introduction is over, why don't we actually get into the battle? Let's do this. So he actually leads off with his Scizor, which is fine. I'm just going to lead off with my Jirachi, and I led off with this expecting the Breloom, and I was hoping maybe I could bring it down to its Sash first turn, but yeah, like I said, he led with the Scizor. So he's gonna go for U-turn, obviously, so I actually went for Thunder outside of Rain, because that was actually my best play, because I didn't want anything else to take the U-turn, and I could potentially get a Parahax, which I did, and that's dope. Anyway, he U-turns out into the Landorus, obviously to scare me, and I'm predicting him to actually want to go for the HP Ice instead of the Earth Power, predicting me to go into my Tornadus. So I actually go into Politoed here and take absolutely no damage for the HP Ice, and it does confirm that he is a special set, not the physical set, because I have seen physical Landorus making a comeback on Showdown, or somewhat of one, so that's kind of a thing. Anyway, he goes to his T-Tar now, and I'm actually going to pull a double switch into my Tornadus, actually expecting him to have gone for Earth Power with Landorus, but he switched out into this, so it's fine. Now, I was actually predicting him to predict me to go for Focus Blast and switch out, therefore I went for U-Turn, but he actually makes a very good play and goes for Pursuit, figuring that I'll probably overpredict because I have been making a lot of predictions lately, and I'm overusing the word predict, that's okay. Anyway, he gets off a huge 56% of damage to me, so I have to make sure he's not allowed to get up his Stealth Rocks, otherwise they will most definitely cause my Tornadus a lot of problems. So I U-turn out into my Tentacruel because I have the Scald and I can spin the rocks if he does try to set them up, and I know I'm going to scare him out. So thankfully he switches into his Latios, and I can actually scout to see what this is going to do, because this Tentacruel does have Protect. Like I said, I have Protect Toxic Spikes because that's pretty cool. And he's actually going to go for the Trick, which is actually beneficial to me because I can just switch into my, which is actually beneficial to me that I protected rather, because I now know what he's going to do, so I can decide what I want to take his item. Figuring he's probably going to be Choice Specs, I'm actually going to go into Tornadus. But it turns out, as you see here, he goes for the Trick, and he's actually Choice Scarfed, which isn't bad because Tornadus is still a very offensive Pokemon and can still make pretty good use of a Choice Scarf, although it's not its preferred item, because I would naturally outspeed this Latios. I'm going to stay in and go for U-Turn, and I mean, even if I didn't naturally outspeed it, he gave me a Scarf, so I'm obviously faster. Get off a nice chunk of damage with that U-Turn to say I only have 4 attack EVs, which is cool. And I'm just going to go into my Jirachi here because it's my Steel type, like I said. And I mean, if he does want to go for the Dragon type move, I'll resist that and go from there. This turn, I'm actually just going to stay in and try to kill him off because he's not that powerful because he's a Scarf Latios as opposed to Specs. So I'm just going to go for Psychic, just wanting to kill him, assuming he's just going to fodder it off here. And he actually makes a pretty good play by going for the Trick again, taking away my leftovers and pretty much ruining any chance this Jirachi had of setting up. So I'm actually going to leave it in as Death Fodder to the Landorus and see what it wants to do. And here I could have gone to the my Mamoswine, which I should have done, but for some reason I went into this, probably because I forgot Rain wasn't up. You know, I was going to threaten him out with Hurricane, but you know, Rain's not up. Well, so what can you do? Anyway, gonna go for U-turn now, expecting him to want to switch out. He does switch out into the T-Tar, which is perfect for me, because I make him take another good chunk of damage, and I am wearing this thing down and getting that much closer to winning the Weather War, because my Politoed is still really, really good on HP. So, now I'm just gonna go for the Scald, and he makes the good play by switching out and sacrificing his Scizor to my Politoed, realizing that after this is dead, he can get a free switch into his Breloom and most definitely threaten me out. So I'm just going to go for 2 Scalds and easily take that Scizor down. Judging by how much the first one did, he was definitely a more offensive one. Probably had a lot of speed investment as opposed to hit points. Anyway, he's going to go into the Breloom now, and I know he's forced to Spore here. And I probably should have let my Politoed go to sleep, but at the same time, I really didn't want to risk it. So I decided to just go ahead and let my Jinx go to sleep, because honestly, I'm probably not going to get a chance to set up anyway, which is really unfortunate because I would love for her to have done something more in this battle, but that's just not going to be the case. So here, I'm going to switch into my Tentacruel, not really fearing anything this wants to do, because I resist the fighting type moves and I take the grass type moves neutrally, and if he wants to stay in and set up Swords Dances, I can actually fish for the Scald Burn. That's indeed what happens. He's going to go for the Swords Dance, and I'm thinking to myself, I need this Scald Burn. I absolutely need it. I'm actually jolly on my Mamoswine to outspeed Breylooms because I have problems with them, but at the same time, I don't want to switch Mamoswine in directly to take the fighting type move. Anyway, I get the Scald first turn, which is awesome as he Swords Dances, and I'm just going to protect, thinking maybe he'll switch, and if not, I can at least make him take another turn of burn damage. So that's indeed what happens. He stays in, tries to Bullet Seed me again, and I mean, the burn basically cancels out the Swords Dance, so this Bullet Seed is not going to do much more than the first one, which is absolutely fine with me. He gets another 2-hitter, and I mean, if he had gotten more hits, it probably still wouldn't have made that much of a difference. Just going to go for Scald again, trying to wear this thing down, do a really good chunk to him, and he's actually going to die off to the burn, which is absolutely fantastic. So now it's 3-on-5, and he goes into the Landorus again, and my best bet is to just sacrifice my Jinx. I really do love her, but at the same time, it was a sacrifice for the greater good. And like I said, I still have my Tentacruel to deal with that Keldeo if I really need to. So, Jinx actually dies straight up to Earth Power. I'm not surprised, although she does have decent special defense. It's nothing to write home about, and her HP is not all that great. I go into Mamoswine because I figure, barring Keldeo, I can pretty much two-hit his whole team. Earthquake would have been a better play, and I was going to go for that, but at the same time, I had to be safe and go for Ice Shard, because Landorus, the special version of Landorus, is just too big of a threat. He's actually going to sacrifice his T-Tar to my Mamoswine here, which is perfectly fine with me because it dies in 2 hits from Ice Shard, meaning the Weather War is mine. He still has that Landorus though, so I have to keep Mamoswine alive. Just going to switch out into my Politoed because I no longer need it because the Weather War is 1 and his last 2 attackers are special. Although Politoed is really, really bulky even when you don't invest in a special defense. So that's indeed what happens. He goes for Surf. And I think he might be choiced here, but he actually goes for Secret Sword, as I'm just going to Scald because I have no reason not to, and the game is pretty much won at this point. But yeah, he goes for Secret Sword after he surfs me, so he's actually probably running the Expert Belt Keldeo rather, with HP Bug to deal with Celebes. So I'm just going to stay in and Scald till I die, really, because all I have to do to win is go into Tornadus and go for Hurricane, and he really can't switch and stuff. I know I'll outspeed him, and even if I didn't outspeed him because he was Scarfed, he gave me a Scarf earlier, so yeah, regardless of what happened, I pretty much would have won this game with Tornadus, like I said. So just going to go into it now as my Politoed finally dies to a combination of Surfs and Secret Swords. Just going to go for Hurricane. It's going to kill anything. It doesn't matter. This is a Tornadus. It's that simple. So yeah, his last Pokemon is indeed the Landorus. I'm just going to stay in and go for Hurricane again because even if I don't kill him, I still have Mamoswine in the wings. And because he took away my Sharp Beak, I'm actually not going to be able to kill him as he knocks me out with the HP Ice, which is all fine and dandy because now I pretty much just go into Mamoswine, click Ice Shard, and spoiler alert, that is going to be the game. So yeah, go for Ice Shard, and there you have it. This game was really, really fun. Absolutely awesome. Loved it. Loved everything about it. I mean, my opponent was actually really cool. I don't know if he has a YouTube channel. Otherwise, I would love to link him because he's a really nice guy and definitely a great opponent to battle, which is pretty cool. Don't know what else to say. So, remember to leave this video a like if you liked it. Leave a comment. Tell me what you thought about it, what I need to improve on, what you liked. You know, give me some criticism. Definitely subscribe to the GTS for more awesome community videos, much like this one. If you like this channel and you want to see a little bit more of me, please come check me out. That would be awesome. I have about 90 subscribers right now, 89, something like that, and I'm hoping to do something cool for 100. So yeah, aside from that shameless self-plug, I do believe that's going to be it. So thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.